Move however you want.
No, I'm just saying because I see that little glare behind me.
What glare? Let me see. Welcome, people. Welcome, people. Welcome, people. We are back for another week. I know we took a week off.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Little unpaid vacation. And we apologize for that. I got a lot of slack behind that.
Did you?
Yeah, I got hit up a couple times on the cell. It was like, well, what happened? This and that nature. So, but we are here. We are back, and welcome.
Welcome to America's Mind. We are America's favorite podcast.
It's because you guys told us.
Fix your screen a little bit.
Okay.
There you go.
Looking wholesome there.
So what's going on this week? What we got going on?
Oh my gosh. You know what? Where do we start?
I got some topics you might want to talk about.
Okay. Hey, I'm always open for that. You know, these are like gifts for people that know me personally, like on the fly. I don't know. I've seemed to become like, I won't say sensei of that, but Jamal, he'll come up with some things like we don't go over anything. We're literally sit here, kind of, we'll all be in our own little world, and then as the show gets on, he'll say, "Hey, you know, what about this?" And so it's fun for me. It's exciting. It's like I'm opening up a gift.
Oh, let me bring something up. Let me see. You want to talk about, where is this at? You want to talk about this?
Okay. All right.
You don't have to say anything right now. I'm just asking the question. You know?
You know what? I'm gonna say this really quick. This is expected for the direction that he's going. I'm sorry. The direction she's going, and how they're building up to that. I'm not surprised. So ultimately,
it's a funny thing about this too. That when we get into it, there's like a funny little caveat that I think is super strange.
Like, I don't know how old she is, you know, but I'm just speaking from a parent's perspective. Like, my son's 12, and I would like him to do this, but then I'm like, hey, you know, you're a little busy with school and other things to be doing besides trying to host this. Like, you got the rest of your life to host that. That's just me speaking from a parent's perspective. I don't know how old she is, so, you know.
Is the, all right, how I'm trying to word this. Is his son going by she now? Is that like a thing that happened?
I don't know. So please don't taboo me and slam me down to the mat. I don't know, but I'm assuming. I know when you assume things can go drastically wrong, but I'm just assuming in the direction that they've been doing. I'm assuming ultimately that's what they're going for. So that's why I use the word she. In that concept. So that's just how it looks to me. I'm like, because we're talking about this particular individual, this child is getting some stuff and things that the average person can't get because of the stature of Dwayne Wade.
All right, let's talk about it. So Dwayne Wade's offspring, I don't know if they're transitioning or if they just wanted to use different pronouns. Like, this stuff going on, I can't keep track of all of it and all the rules and how it works. But like, apparently these pictures were posted for some reason online.
Okay.
And this is what I think, especially with like this one right here. I think this is inappropriate for like a child of any kind of orientation.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's why I was just saying I don't know how old she is. I'm just speaking from my parents' perspective because I have a 12-year-old. That's my oldest, and if if I was to see this, whatever gender it be, I would just be like, you know what? I think that you have a little bit too much time to kind of deal with that, and you're a little too busy to be kind of engaging in this. Not saying this in a hateful way, but just saying it in a sense that, you know, do 12-year-old stuff. When we were 12, we were running outside, we were playing video games, you know, we were minding our business. You know what I mean? We wasn't, you know, that's too early for heartaches and heartbreaks and all that other stuff.
First of all, like, this too grown already.
Yeah.
It's too grown for any age, any gender orientation, anything. Like,
yeah.
All right, so this is the funny thing, though.
Okay.
All right, so the person that she is kissing is a person who was born a female. So, like, if you get down to the nitty gritty of it,
I'm gonna sip on this tea here.
If you get down to the nitty gritty,
that they'll be able to reproduce.
A straight couple, yeah.
They'll be able to reproduce.
This is a straight couple, but one of them identifies as a woman, and that's the male. Oh, this is gonna be tricky to say. The one born male identifies as a female, and the one born female identifies as a male. So it's a straight couple. Either way, however you want to cut it.
I don't know if I could say that word or that. You need to bump it. Like it's like a. No, I'm not gonna say it. Never mind.
No, go ahead.
We're not on Twitter.
I don't think we'll get canceled.
You know, we can't exercise free speech. I want to talk about that later. But
because Twitter is like a free country now, right? Since Elon Musk bought it.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. But back to this this situation here. I'm like, I will just say if they're happy, then fine. That's if people are happy, that's fine. The thing that I don't like is that the over buttons of sprinkledness of emphasizing that they are choosing to do this. Like at the end of the day, like, do people kind of really care? Not really. But the envelopes just push so much, and that's the problem that I mildly have. And then it's like if I have a rebuttal against it, or if me and you say anything or anybody says anything, then it's like a tidal wave of criticism.
I think we could say they're too young to be posting pictures like that.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. We're not talking about their sexuality. That's my real criticism about it is. They're too young to be doing this.
Yeah, that's why I don't know how old they are.
I think all the stuff that goes around it is funny.
No, it is a little like hysterical.
I think the other stuff is just funny, but I don't have an issue with the other stuff. You know what? Like I wonder, like, sometimes I wonder if. Because, like, supposedly, statistically, like, transgenderism is on a rise. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if the acceptance of it and the pushing for it is creating the actual thing. Or like, gender dysphoria actually has a medical diagnosis. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure if all people transitioning or identifying as transgender actually have this medical condition. Or if it's just becoming like a popular trend therefore it's rising. Because the percentage of it is low, right? But it seems like, you know, like if you influence kids a certain way, their brains are sponges.
Well, that's the key word you just used was influence. Like influence, in my personal opinion, is like a mutant power. Because if you can capitate a person's mind, then the body and everything else follows. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And there's tons of things out here in the world, you know, just speaking just in general, from television to advertisement to signs to colors. You know, they're like when you go into like looking at like in sales, you know what I'm saying? There's certain things that the mind will gravitate to quicker than others. Like, you know, if you like, hey, if you put a lime green sign with some pink writing, we're gonna automatically gravitate to that because of the brightness of it, because that's like a color you don't see every day. You know, and it's like, you know, if you put a person in front of a television all day long, they're gonna believe everything they see on TV, right? So, you know, like,
I'm wondering how much like of it is influenced by just the culture of these things being widely
I'm gonna say a lot,
and how much of it is genuine. Because I do think there is a genuine form of it. I think there are people suffering from gender dysphoria, and then I think there are people who are just hopping on.
It's the new wave. It's a new wave.
It's the new wave, yeah.
It's a new wave, and it's unlimited resources now, which is it's great. If you think about it, it's like, you know, hey.
What do you mean, like if our country wasn't doing so well, we wouldn't have time to be talking about any kind of these things?
In a sense, but it's like
when you were a caveman, all you had to worry about keeping your tribe alive, hunting animals, growing
simple stuff.
Yeah, you didn't have time to sit around like, what?
Well, that's the thing, like, and with social media shows a lot of different angles behind the scenes and the crevices of certain things, and so people go, oh, okay, well, you know, and it's accepted, which is a wonderful thing, you know. It's like, okay, well, if I do that, then I could get on this surfboard and I could ride this wave, you know, because it's a tremendous amount of opportunities, you know, that come with it, which I do understand from their point of view, you know.
Okay.
And that's what I think.
That was a coded sentence. I'm trying to...
Yeah, you know, and I think that's what it is, you know what I mean, where it's you know, it's shown, you know, and it's like, hey, like, you know. Yeah.
Is this true? Allegedly, or did it happen? Allegedly, Dwayne Wade recently did an interview saying he wore his sister's clothes plus shoes as a kid. I mean, that doesn't say anything to me.
Well,
I don't know.
I might.
Kids do like kids experiment with stuff. But I'm saying, like, say now, right? If a kid does that, then is culture pushing them to be like, oh, maybe you're a girl, like off top, just because, like, say Dwayne Wade did that as a kid, would society or his parents have been like, oh, maybe you're a girl now?
It's hard to say, like, it's hard to say. It is definitely a bigger push. Like, I'm not going to, like, okay. Like, when I was a kid, I have two younger sisters. So, I had, like, my stuff, and then it was their stuff. So, like, in our home, you know, in the 90s, it was Ninja Turtles for boys. It was Barbies for girls.
Yeah, but, like, if your sisters played with your Ninja Turtles,
they never would. But I played with their stuff.
All right, so if you play with their dollhouses or whatever, would society or culture be pushing you, like, maybe you identify as a girl just because you did that? Like,
I think that no, because it wasn't even a thought, because, and even for me
then, but now,
yeah, and that's the thing, because it's like, who created that?
Because I remember when we were kids, like, at one point the girls were into making friendship bracelets and whatnot. Yeah. And we would be hanging around making friendship bracelets with the girls. Or they were in the double dutch, and we'd be hanging around double dutching with the girls.
Screw around in there every now and then.
There was never any, like, discussion about, well, maybe our identity is.
Well, that's what I think is just too much. It's too much emphasis on it now. You know what I mean? Because it could be just innocent. Like, I played with my sister's Barbie Ferrari because 3-4 Ninja Turtles could fit in it. and I could make a ramp because it was made out of that plastic that didn't break.
Yeah.
And I could make ramps, and I could get airborne. I could roll the car like this. It could do a little hook, slide, skid. All of the Ninja Turtles could sit in the car, comfortable. Because Barbie stuff was like about this big. About this big, this skinny, but like her cars and stuff was enormous. So I was like, oh man, I could stick.
Ninja Turtles would be tiny action figures, and their cars would be tiny.
Yeah,
that they
it was
couldn't-
like, it couldn't fit
Barbie
in.
was like one of the tallest figures you can get. So all her, like, if she had a house, this house filled up. Like, you had to have
I was
a decent
like my
sized
sister
room to have a Barbie
was
house.
upset with me because I would tear their damn cars up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, man, because like you said too, like the Ninja Turtle van was bulky, it was heavy, it didn't go far. You know what I mean? The Barbie Ferrari, that car can go the distance. It wouldn't break. But it was just like it was innocent. Like I also too, give some more people some more TMI and stuff like that. Like I used to play with these two dolls. Now my dad hated it. Because he was like, well, he's playing with a doll. But for me, I was actually using the dolls to fight. It was a Raggedy Ann. I was using the Beast from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
And I was having the dolls emulate wrestling moves and super moves and super combo moves. That was, but my dad like, oh, that's a doll. I was playing with it. But I'm like, I get what he's saying. I'm not changing who I was. I just wanted to emulate these super moves and little wrestling moves, and I would have them do all kind of crazy stunts and tricks, and that was just fun to me. But it didn't, my mind never drifted into that, and my mind wasn't pushed to be
I don't
drifted.
think it was really a thought then at that time.
Yeah, my dad was just more like as a father, you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's a doll.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right. Like, whenever that phase get over, can't wait to be done. You know what I mean? To move on. That's how it was. Like, if my son was to be doing that, like, I would look at it as, like, okay, it's a phase. He, whatever.
All right. So I guess that's what we have to say about that.
But, congrats.
Congrats. You don't even know what to say. I wonder how much of that has to do with his marriage, too.
Well,
Because a lot of celebrities can do things that
where they're in that being married together in union, and you're in the middle of that. Like, everything that's brought around that, it starts from like her line of work and being a NBA Hall of Famer and having the money, just puts more on the microscope when you allow the microscope to be in. Hey, I'm like, I say, if it's just genuine happiness, then hey, I'm down for that. That's just how I look at it now.
Yeah.
With anything, if it makes you happy, fine.
Can you hear that in your headset?
Let me see. Do it one more time. No, I don't hear it.
Let me see if I could. Man,
We don't even need audio on this because we already know who that is.
we know who it is and what happens. Oh, okay. I gotta there.
Okay, America. So we're gonna we'll talk real brief on this video next. Yeah, I hear it.
This is George talking to Mike Tyson, bro. This shit crazy, bro. Mike Tyson.
I guess.
My dog done got lit, man. He over here rapping with Tyson.
What's this dude thinking?
Mike Tyson trying to give us some shrooms. You don't know how
I'm
to
gonna let
act.
the video.
Tyson looking out, man. That's
Infringement on
crazy.
that. So I'm gonna talk during this video. Things like that. So this guy.
He knows exactly what he's doing.
Were they on a JetBlue flight, something like that?
Yeah, I think it was a JetBlue flight. Yeah.
Okay, so Iron Mike. The people don't know who Iron Mike is. He is
Former heavyweight
champion. And Iron Mike is 54 years old, I believe. Still trains and things like that. Has a marijuana dispensary business that's very, very successful.
Had an exhibition fight, what, 2 years ago now?
About a year ago, he fought Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah.
He's
And look phenomenal.
and yeah, been training all that stuff. And Iron Mike has the ability to hurt people if he chooses to with either hand. And when I say that is that either hand that he throws can hurt you. So with that being said, and we've seen Mike Tyson knock out the best of the best in seconds. So, and Mike is that type of guy. He's a very realistic individual. So what I mean by that, like as you can see in the video, when we'll play it later, that Mike doesn't really do security. He doesn't really do anything like that. He doesn't feel like he's a special person like that. He feels like I'm like everyone else. Yeah, I happen to box. Yeah, I happen to have some money and things like that. But ultimately, I'm just like you guys. So we can understand now why Mike is on this flight. He's not trying to fly charter. He's not trying to do that. Hey, I'm just like everybody else. He's minding his business. He wanted a window seat. I ain't mad. I would want one too. And this idiot comes and starts antagonizing him. And I don't think that was the trigger. So in the reports, it did say that he threw something at him later on that wasn't displayed on the video.
No, I think it was before. He was taking pictures with somebody, and he threw a water bottle at him or something. And this is after the water bottle thing.
Okay, and so then
and now he's just fucking with him.
And then too, there was some racial slurs in his video where he was, called the N-word a few times, and he even referred to Mike as a peasant, things like that. So, what would you do in this situation? And I believe that he got exactly what he deserved.
He knew exactly what he was doing. You don't go messing with Mike Tyson.
I don't know if Iron Mike's hands are registered still. I gotta find that out.
Probably not. But
no, it has to be because he fought last year, so it has to be.
Lit, man. He over here rapping with Tyson.
Is that a true thing? Like, if you're a registered fighter, then your hands are considered deadly weapons? Mm-hmm. That's a true thing?
Yeah. Once you start training so much, because see, you're doing something that's beyond average. So when you're, per se, boxing, you're throwing hundreds of punches daily. Like punching becomes a science because, you're working out your entire body to put these force behind these punches to eliminate a target, pretty much. And
so let's continue with this video.
We're gonna finish it off. So I'm gonna talk through this because I don't want us to get any infringements or anything like that. So
You don't know how to act.
So he called him a couple times, called him a peasant a few times, so they bleeped it out. So the guy knows that, so he's calling him a peasant right there. Really like trying to be personal with him. And then as you can see, there was a series of right hands. And
the camera was like, whoa, whoa.
Blue,
and that's the ending result where, I'm going to say this. He's lucky he was sitting down.
I'm crying.
Because if he was standing up, it would have been worse. Like, he's lucky that he couldn't really get his hands on him. Be honest with you. Like, he had that seat and everything else in the way. But if he was standing up, we already knew that he would have been eliminated. Easy.
I think it's bad already. Like,
I hope Mike doesn't get.
I don't know why you would mess with Mike Tyson. This face says everything.
The part that sucks the most.
He seemed like he trying to get pity points now. Like you
the part that sucks the most is that
messing with Mike Tyson, and now you got punched out.
Yeah, the part that really sucks is that Mike may not get any criminal charges. I hope not, but he's still gonna lose some money behind this, and that's the part that sucks the most.
You think so?
Yeah, there's gonna be something. It may not be a grip of money, but it's gonna be
Everybody
something.
understands exactly what happened. I don't.
Yeah, but even then, they're gonna still say, "Well, you know, you should have told the flight attendant. You should have did this." You know, it's gonna turn into the woulda, coulda, shoulda. You know what I mean? And you know, you still threw a punch. I'm not. I hope I'm absolutely wrong on this, but unfortunately, Mike might get a little bit of money taken away. Maybe $10,000 or something like that.
I hope not. Like, this dude knew exactly what
But
he
that's
was
the part
doing.
that I'm like, in America, like, people could sue all day long. Like, I've heard cases when people break into a house, the owner of the house shoots them, and then the person sues the person that shot them.
What?
Yes, you look it up, and they be like, "Well, I didn't have a gun. Like, you broke in the person's house, but I didn't have a gun, and he shot me."
Oh yeah, I've heard things like that. Like
Yeah.
in California, you can't just shoot people that walk into your house, or they have to present a threat first before you can do anything.
Whoa.
Like if a homeless person walks in and sits on your couch, you can't shoot them. Or if anybody walks in your house, sits on the couch, and doesn't pose a threat first, you can't do anything. Yeah, that's a different discussion. Anyway,
That's ridiculousness, you know.
yeah, but that dude knew what he was doing. He got exactly what was coming to him.
I'm like, at the end of the day, that's Bronx, New York.
Nobody
you know what I mean?
believes this
Too, like,
face.
you know, like, but I wish Mike would have knocked them all the way out. That's
I think so too.
so. Luckily, he was sitting down. Luckily, no, he wasn't going easy on him. He was sitting down. He couldn't get him the way he wanted.
Yeah.
If you standing up,
True.
whatever guard that guy would have tried to defend, you know, Mike's punches is gonna go through that. Like, you know, you try to block that, you know, you gonna go through that. You know, so I wish it was more damage. I hate to say that, but
Hey, say
yeah.
what you will, say what you will. All right, so we got one more video.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen this one. How do I bring this up?
Faking
Here
it
we
in
go.
a real.
All right, so you know DJ Envy from the Breakfast Club.
Okay.
DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne, that guy.
Yeah.
So him and his wife, I don't know what show this was. They were on something.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, his wife thought this was the perfect opportunity to talk about how she used to fake orgasms in the beginning of their marriage for a good amount of time, anyway. So we'll play that and we'll see what you think about it.
All right, let me leave my headphones on this one. This is interesting when it comes to the girl stuff, you know.
Relationship. That chapter is about the fact that we got together. So
Well, I don't hear it.
First.
Oh, okay, that's my bad.
Hold on, America. We're gonna be tuning in on this
Just gonna take me a
together.
second to set that.
Togetherness.
All right, so it should be coming through for you. I started over.
He was my only. And I was very inexperienced.
You can turn it up with the knob in
Before him,
front.
The furthest that I'd ever gotten was second base.
Yeah.
Before him went up my shirt, and I thought that was a big deal. So we were both turtles in our relationship. We waited to have sex till our 1-year anniversary, and he made it very special and, you know, romantic.
Wait, is she talking about the 1-year anniversary of them dating or getting married?
I don't know, but here's I have a humongous problem here. I'm going to dig in deeper with this because this. Okay, I'll ask you this trivia question, and it's not difficult. In a successful relationship, what must be there?
What must be there?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, ask me. Reword it.
To have
Trust, right? Is that what you're saying?
that is part of that, but in a successful relationship, it's this one thing that always needs to be there. The minute that diminishes, then that's when the relationship starts to unravel.
I think there's a few things actually.
Yeah, but this
I'm trying to think
it
of
starts
the
with a
thing.
C. I'll give you that. The word starts with a C.
Go ahead and tell me.
Jamal. You know it. Your wife knows. She's chucking over here.
Confidentiality.
So communication.
Oh, okay, I got you.
So by her not expressing that to him, you can see on his face that he has been put in a dark place, because there's certain the man ego is like the human brain without the skull. You touch it, it's frail to the touch. It's that sensitive. So when we're talking about sexual acts, and this is supposed to be your woman, so you're thinking that you're doing some Tarzan stuff in the bedroom, and here it is. She's telling you that she ain't even got to second base with you.
Have you seen this before?
No.
Let's finish. Hold on.
Like,
because he kind of says that. Hold on.
But we were two kids that, didn't really know what we were doing exactly, but we had fun figuring each other out. Most young girls, and even
He doesn't look comfortable with her saying any of this.
You don't know how to achieve an orgasm.
Yeah.
A lot of women have no idea what it feels like to have an orgasm through sexual intercourse. They know how to do it themselves, or they know how to do it through oral sex, but through sexual intercourse, a lot of women just don't know. Now, if you don't know, how do you expect your man to
I'm gonna rip this apart. We ain't even gonna get to the main topic. We gonna stay on this. Okay. Females, if you guys are listening to this, please comment. Okay? Because during sexual intercourse, right, for a woman to get to the destination point, there's certain key factors that have to be present. And if it's not present, she's not going to be there, and she's not going to get there. And what I'm saying, what it sounds like to me was that this woman was not sexually attracted to him, and that was the block. Because what are you talking about? Oh, we were young, we don't know what we're doing, and things like that. I don't want to hear that baloney. You know what I mean? Because I'm a little upset because I'm a man, and I'm like, I feel his pain. I've heard that once in my life. But like, this is your wife, and she's saying this on a network. You know what I mean? And basically what she is expressing to me is that you wasn't sexually attracted to this man. Because there's certain things that we don't have to do, and women are already there.
We can speculate about that. The biggest issue to me is that she feels like that she needs to talk about this publicly.
I agree.
She feels entitled, or
and that's the problem.
Emboldened to talk about this.
That's the thing.
Publicly in the first place.
Communication. And I feel like in the very, very beginning, she should have expressed that in the beginning.
In their relationship, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even if she didn't express it and she still faked it, right?
Okay.
All right, and everything still went the same way. Why did she need to go on the internet and tell
because it's a lack
else? Why did she need to communicate to everybody else with this issue?
I could start digging in deeper and deeper and deeper, and this is a situation, and I'm just going to put my personal 2 cents on it, and an opinion, is that this is what happens when a woman is just into you for your money and not into you. You know what I mean? So I challenge, were you sexually attracted to the man? I challenge, did you even like the guy? I challenge, were you even in love with the guy? I challenge, are you even happy in this situation? Because this is embarrassing him. This is critical.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, why? This whole thing can happen. I'm not saying like there are issues with couples sexually where women are naked or whatever.
It's real life, yeah.
Communication wasn't there and things happen. My only thing is, why are we hearing about it?
Because she doesn't respect him. Because she never liked him. She wasn't sexually attracted to him. Like, I'm going to go further on that because I'm just saying, like, a women, Joel Santana said it in a song. When you effing, she thinking of ways of getting out, thinking of ways of getting even. That's why when we fight, two people a man and a woman can get into an argument. Then they call it makeup sex, right? We're on cloud 9. She's still upset. She still wants to talk about what y'all just was talking about an hour ago. Like, wait a minute, we just did this and this. I don't want to talk about that no more. But their mind is still there. Their mind could still be there. That's why makeup sex doesn't work. That's why I don't do it.
The queen of telling their business in marriage is Jada Pinkett. I think all these wives are so basically what that's saying is that like a woman has to be intrigued in more angles and more ways than just money or this or that. You know what I mean? Like she has to ultimately be really in tune to this guy. You know what I'm saying? So where it is vice versa with us too, in a sense. You know, it's the same thing with us too. If we're not in tune to this woman, if we're not really rocking with her, we ain't really feeling her and stuff like that, we on top of her for 45 minutes. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we're trying to force something to make something happen when we're not really in truth. We're not into them. You know what I'm saying? When you're into this person, the fact that you guys are just around each other, the fact that you guys are able to just touch each other, kiss each other, communicate, there's different ways of communication, you know what I mean? Physically, emotionally, intellectually, sexually, all that other stuff, all those leads in there. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. It's a violation in that. You know what I mean? And when you're truly in love, and I've heard this from a woman's perspective, when you're truly in love from a woman's perspective, even if her man has some hiccups and some misprints, she's gonna rock with him anyway. She's gonna deal with it anyway. She's gonna figure out a way to figure it out anyway and move on. Like, this is not a common thing here, but
you said it's not common?
It's not common. A lot of women are not satisfied sexually in a relationship.
You mean it's not uncommon?
I mean, yeah, it's not uncommon. I'm sorry. Yeah. So there's a lot of women that are not like maximize sex, satisfied. You know what I mean? Because they just not. You know what I mean? Because
that's fine. I get that part. Like women are more complicated to please.
Well, our peaks are different. Our peak from 18 to 25. That's when we peak.
Oh yeah, I've heard that before.
They're not even really worried about that, and then that's why. And then, yeah, when women start picking it up at 35, and they want to do it 5 days a week. I'm almost 40. I don't want to do it all of those times. I'm going to speak for me.
No, see, I get the issue that they were having.
Yeah.
There was a lack of communication. Things weren't going right. Cool,
yeah.
Perfectly fine. My only issue, I'm saying for the third time, is that I'm hearing about this.
Yeah, I agree.
Why? Look at his face right here. You think he wants to be sitting here next to his wife, and she's talking about their sexual issues in their early marriage. That's not a conversation any guy wants to sit in public and be talking about.
I agree. And it's really unfortunate. I didn't see this.
So like, what in her head, did she think she was like helping people by informing them of these things could actually happen? Like, we all know. So
it's a time and a place, and I think for this situation, it just wasn't the right time or the right place. And she's very bold to do that.
That's a good one.
If I think that was me, I think that I would have reacted, especially if I didn't know about this. And then especially if you're trying to, if you're trying to be funny. Because one thing that men don't do, men don't play games. So it's like, don't play with me when I'm a whole adult man. Please don't do that. So women out here, please don't do that. And for those that have these complications, I'm going to speak from a nursing perspective, that communicate with your partner. And that's the best thing that you can do. And practice, practice, practice. Practice makes better. Doesn't make perfect, okay? So, while you're communicating these issues, practice.
Practice makes better. I never heard of it.
Yeah, practice makes better. Well, this old saying is practice makes perfect. So, practice makes better. So,
He is in the business.
Yeah,
I'm just all around.
All right.
Just no. I'm not. I'm talking about your mentality overall.
Just
Like,
all around.
just in life. Like, he lives to make me happy, and he puts
Don't try to clean it up,
forward in that
sweetheart.
realm. So I would see him.
See, it's
trying
showing you
and
again.
Really going to
It's the finance. He's doing everything to make me happy, but he doesn't make you happy sexually. So there's a humongous problem
She
here.
felt guilty that she wasn't getting fulfilled, so she.
It's not even guilty. You're just not into this guy.
I think it's guilt.
It could be
If
that.
it's not guilt, then why would you fake it?
Well, you need him to be hooked. You need him here.
work. And
I'm like,
sure so many women can relate. Like,
we're two
you
guys in
want
here
to
with your
reward-
wife, so I'm not gonna do too much. But if I'll speak for me, if I can't satisfy this woman and we haven't, she ain't my wife yet, so by that I'm out of here. I'm not here to do the impossible.
I don't know if I would do that. I don't think every woman can orgasm through penetration.
I'm like, I wouldn't know. I couldn't answer that. I can't answer it. All I do know is that it got to be certain key opponents. And the one thing that I do know that I've heard from women is that if they're not attracted to the guy, it's going to be really hard to unlock certain emotions to get to that point.
Well, I know that statistically that it's like a low number of women who actually orgasm from penetration. Then most of them are like clitoral.
Yeah, well, then you can see now we got to dig in. See, we got to open up a whole other statistic here and look at these relationships and see why is this woman with him? Why did you choose him? Yeah, he hunted you, but you chose to be hunted, and you chose to be captured. So then it's like, why? Because I'm sure there's some underlying things here. You know what I
She
mean?
liked them. I don't know.
I don't know.
I get your point. Like you automatically assume that she wasn't into him.
Yeah. So they, because okay, like I was had a conversation earlier, friend of mine. I always try to keep her anonymous, but she talked about a situation that she was in a few years ago, and the problem was that it was a weight issue. You know what I'm saying? And she couldn't look past it. So that was the deal breaker. She was just like, no matter what, I can't look past this. And that's something that was like in her, that I'm just not into big guys. And it's totally fine with it. You can try to cheat it as much as you want, but the reality is going to eventually set. Like, no shade to big girls. I'm not attracted to them. I could be super cool with them. We could go have drinks. We could do all of that stuff under the sun. But when it comes to sexual contact, I'm going to be turned off. And there's nothing she can do. And there's no shot to her. It's not saying she's a bad person. That's just my preference.
I mean, yeah, I feel you on that.
And we have seen
But
some.
would you marry them then?
Well, that's the thing. Like, he's thinking that he's making the right choice here, because she probably excelled in every other statistical category to become the wife. But it's like she's lying in the situation. I hate to use that word. I'm not trying to bash this woman that I don't know her, but it just seems like that some of this stuff is just not adding up.
I think it's more complicated than her not being into him. I don't know exactly what it was, because I want
Because my thing is this: if she was, and let's just say she had those complications, why are we talking about it now? This is a very
Oh,
sensitive.
that's my whole thing.
This is a very sensitive subject matter.
That's my whole thing. Why they talking about it now in public?
Like if she had these complications, boom, they were able to get through the kinks. We're moving forward with life. I don't need to go back into the time machine. I don't want to go back to that bump in the road.
I don't know. Do we need to play more of this? I don't even think we got to the meat of it. Hold on.
That man for that work, and the only reward that you have to offer is an orgasm. But even if I didn't feel it, I would still be performative. So yes, I was faking it. But once you start, how do you stop?
Right.
How do you climb back out of that rabbit hole? You can't really have a conversation about it now. So I actually did it to myself. But what's more important is the fact that it had nothing to do with him.
Right.
He was doing everything that a man could do to please a woman. The problem was that I didn't know my own body. And
This is more than just physical, honey. It's your mind. Your mind is not in
I had
it.
to learn that first. And what the problem was, I was so busy performing and putting on a show that I didn't take the time to be pleased. I didn't take the time to enjoy it because that wasn't my priority. My priority was him. And that comes from a place where, ever since we're young.
What show are you talking about? It's just you and him.
We're sold these false narratives.
The more I dig into this, the more it infuriates me and agitates me. Like, what show? There's no cameras. We're not.
I think she was saying she needed to put on a show for him to make, And so that was she got, it sounds like she was saying she got so invested in putting on the show that he was pleasing her that she was like disconnected from what was actually the actual intercourse.
And so how do you get disconnected? Mentally.
Well, it seems like they had a disconnection and they didn't work on getting the connection right.
She had the disconnection because she's not sexually, he's attracted to her. He's pursuing her.
I think you're stuck on that, but I don't think attraction equals orgasm, like off top.
I'm like, it doesn't, but it's a big factor.
I don't know how women's body
because
works,
it's like feeling is one thing and attraction is something else.
Who would have to ask me?
No, we're not gonna ask your wife.
I can't relate. It don't take a lot for men to get there. We don't have codes and shit.
So it's just like when we do it ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a feeling. It's satisfying. It gets you there. Blah 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 blah. But you're not fulfilled.
You want to come in and talk about this? Female perspective.
Well,
now come over here, because you can't hear you.
Like you're not fulfilled, right? But when you do it with a woman, it brings a different level, right? Then when you do it with a woman that you like or love, that's a different level. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm stuck on it. She just wasn't sexually attracted to him. That's what I just think.
well, and I agree with Chris because typically women do have a type. Women know the type of man that they're into.
Mm-hmm.
But correct me if I'm wrong, men kind of have a spectrum of women that they may be interested in.
Yes.
Right. So.
It's called like all of them, really.
Right. So that's why I think, if anything, women are more prone to know what their type is. But with this new generation and everything going on, women kind of want to say, no, we like all men too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not necessarily the case.
Because there's certain things you can't lie about. You can't lie to yourself.
Right.
You can't force yourself to do something that you don't want to do. And it's like for bridging the gap, I put her out there a little bit. She was with this guy that there was a weight issue, and no matter how she tried to look at it in so many angles, just like he's still a big guy. No matter how much she tried to look at it and dissect it, she's like, but I'm not into big guys. Okay, you know what? I can't lie to myself no more. And so she backed out of the situation. Even though from what she told me that this guy was hitting A's everywhere else.
But did she give the guy a shot and say, hey, maybe if you lose
Yeah, she did. She did. I believe that they were in a relationship. I don't think they went to third or fourth base, but they're in the midst of that. And then she did express to him that, this is a concern, and I guess she did try to work with him to see what he would do with that, and he didn't do anything. And so she had to pardon herself from that situation.
Okay, well, kudos to her, though, for at least bringing it up and seeing if it was something that could be worked on.
Yeah.
Versus, ghosting him.
Because eventually it's going to come out.
So you agree with Quick? You agree with Chris mostly that you felt like their problem was more attraction.
Yeah, I don't think she's attracted to him.
Still? I mean, well, I think they fixed it, right?
It's a lifestyle now. So like she's in deep now. So
Money.
yeah, it's a lifestyle that she's into now. This guy is he's rich. He's part of Rich and Famous.
Yeah.
So it's like, why would you? There's tons of women that's waiting for you to screw up, so they could be her. But it's like, well, I'll be her.
So you think this is a situation where it's like maybe she thought he was corny, but he was just running with it because the relationship was
I hate to say that, but unfortunately, you know what I mean?
I never thought about it from that angle. I think I was giving her the benefit of the doubt of just them not communicating sexually. So I didn't think.
And sometimes, in some cases, people have off nights. Guy can have an off night. Your woman can have an off night, and you'll talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, not like in a mean way, but like, what the hell was that yesterday? Like, wow. You know what I'm saying? You be like, well, what you mean? Like, girl, I was doing my thing. Like, nah, actually, you wasn't. You was off last night. What? You know what I'm saying? But it's communicated. You know what I'm saying? And you'll try to fix it. I know in this, and we're talking about, I don't know how long they've been married, or
It's been a long time.
and we don't know. And we're talking about like probably in his prime. Like we're talking about the prime him. He's seasoned now, so he ain't tripping. So we're talking about the prime him. You know what I mean? Like that's. They
Do you think he had that cheating scandal, right? He cheated with somebody on like one of the love and hip hop shows. His wife found out, and I feel like he kind of been like simping with her ever since.
well, I'm like,
They've been married since 2001.
so 20 years, 21 years.
21 years. Sheesh.
And they're 43. So yeah, so we're talking about 21, 20. You know what I'm saying? So we're talking about like, now I can give her a little bit of an angle because at that time, his peak of, he could go. That's when we, 4, 5 times, 3, 4 times a day. Like, yeah, and she's crawling and trying to get away from him because she's like, oh my God, like I ain't trying to do this all day long. But now it's switched. But see, even then, I'm like, but you're saying that you didn't even get this at all. And it's like you had to put yourself in a really deep part in your mind mentally to get this unlocked. And I'm like, how? When y'all were married, like you were married, like y'all not boyfriend and girlfriend, y'all just kicking it. Like y'all don't walk down the aisle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're trying to tell us that you were madly, because those are the words, when you marry, everything is madly, everything is emphasized, you know what I'm saying? Madly in love, madly happy, oh, best man ever, best woman, I get it. You should be like that, you know what I mean? So it's like, that's during that part. And you're saying that you're having a problem, and you're saying that, like, none of this happened. So that year, that's 365 days. Y'all done probably got down about 200 times. So you telling me that you ain't felt nothing? Yeah, I went to a number thing. You ain't felt nothing? I don't know. What was blocking you?
And how many of those times did she end up actually getting pregnant?
Oh, it's
Then
a
that's a
different
bigger
combo.
burn. But that's a bigger burn.
Because
You
all,
could see they made a child, but I wasn't feeling it.
yeah, because it's the same. It's the same. It's the same thing when like two people are intimate and then they want to add props, like another human being. Some people do animals, toys.
You said animals. Wait, hold on. What the?
Hey, you know,
Hold on, bro.
hey, I've heard stories. Okay, you know, and you know, and
Those are more than a human being, toys, animals.
I've heard some stories, and even like excuse me, and when those props are added, my personal feeling on that is that I'm doing something wrong in a sense, because once these things are unlocked, you're gonna want to always do this, and that's not the norm, right?
Don't follow that. I think we used toys before, but
I'm
it's
like-
that was years ago, so it hasn't come up again. But if it came up again, it would just be a thing again.
Yeah, well, I'm
So
like
it's
those are like that's like innocent. You know what I mean? That's
animals
innocent.
we never.
That's innocent. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like norm. But like if it was to be like a threesome, foursome, like every time. Like wait. Every time we got to do that? Like, you know what I mean? Like
That's doing a lot.
that changes the dynamic. It's some relationships are like that.
If you say so.
You know, some are like that where it's like
say so.
Group, I guess.
like they gotta put on some pornography every single time. It's like, wait, like why do we have to watch this every time?
All right, so I see what you're saying. If the act requires some kind of third,
Yeah.
that would bother me too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like if it's a
If
you know,
can't just get down
and we
by
both
yourself
felt we
sometimes.
both felt foggy to jump. Like, cool, we'll jump together. But after that, I don't want to jump over no more lily pads. You know what I'm saying? So we're done with that. But then you talk about you want to jump again. I'm like, well, hold on, sweetie. Like, wait, what you trying to do? Like, this was like this was an itch. We scratched it. Now the itch is here again. Like, wait a minute. Like,
Yeah, I see. At first, I thought you were saying doing it would make you feel like using a toy would make you feel a certain way.
like if it was
But I
always
feel a way
implemented.
like if every single time, like the buzzer
It's
got
a
pulled out.
layout. It's a display laid out. You know what I mean? You're like, damn, we just can't do a little foreplay, play a little something, and just get into it. I gotta be shocked and whipped and chained and torture racked. You know what I mean? Every time, right? Like, I gotta go to work in 20 minutes, right? Like, I ain't got no time for this, baby. Like, come on, like.
Yeah, I feel you, yeah. You think that's their relationship now? I don't know. This got a lot of problems to
We
me.
can dig into this.
I feel we can talk about this forever. I think she thinks this is as simple as sharing something that's gonna help other people work through their marital issues. But the whole thing and how it was done, just I'm not a therapist or nothing, but it just screams like it's issues, yo.
Yeah, and sometimes
Even him sitting here and
some,
I read him saying they had a book to sell. Nah, I ain't selling the book on.
and sometimes, to be honest with you, sometimes that's who made that phrase of the kitchen table.
What's the comedian?
D.L. Hughley.
Yeah. Sometimes this is a kitchen table conversation. Sometimes in these particular relationships that are put in the light and things like that, they feel like that they have to always include us as the people to into their business. And sometimes it's like, you know what, you just gotta go to that kitchen table and you just gotta talk about it. You know what I mean? You and that person. And that's the best medicine. Therapists and all of that, and I do.
Share too much.
I do agree with counseling to a sense, and I feel like the counselor shouldn't be counseling. The counselor should just be a third party to just look at the situation unbiased. Basically, you're saying what you need to say. He's saying what he needs to say. They're writing it down. They go, okay, so wait, that's a great point there. That's a little this, or that's a little one-sided, or that's what a counselor should do. You know, I'm not trying to tell them how to do their job because they go to school. I'm just a nurse. Nurse don't diagnose. I have to add that. You know, but
You say that a lot.
you know, because hey, I want, you know, people that start looking at my license, like, he's a nurse, he can't diagnose, and then we get Dr. Oz and these guys on here, they're gonna rip me apart. Like, hey man, you know what you doing out here diagnosing people? You can't do that. You know, ready to come get me. So, you know, but
you're right, Chris, because some people look for counseling to get the direct answer.
yes,
Versus, hey, right, the neutral party that can maybe help guide the next step versus you need to do this, this, and this to fix your marriage.
so exactly. And the number one antidote is communication. The minute communication stops, the relationship starts to diminish. I like to use the word wedges. And what does a wedge do? It pulls things apart. And the longer that wedge is there, the bigger that wedge has become. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so communicate. You know, people out there listening, I'm trying to give out some mildly decent advice when it comes to relationships and stuff like that. I don't want people to think I bash relationships. I actually promote them. You know what I mean? You're in a I'm gonna say this: if you are in a situation that could be saved, please stay in it, because it is a jungle out here, and it's a lot of weird waves out here, and you don't got enough surfboards. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, like, the game is really changed. So I would promote anybody in a relationship, hey, if it's worth fixing, you know, fix those them parts and move forward, because, you know, a lot of people on some different things now. Women think very differently. Men do too.
We talked about this last night, and I kind of disagree. I don't think the game changed. I just think there are more people not playing it. And people try to play the game with people who aren't in the game.
That's
They're
true.
playing a whole different game. Like, we were talking about dating and courting. I think there are way more. It used to be the other way, where if you wanted to get married, everybody played the courting game. And then there were a few people playing the dating game. Then I think over time, maybe at one point it was 50-50, like in the 1950s when everybody was still getting married. And now it's like everybody's dating. And dating doesn't lead to marriage necessarily.
Absolutely. No, I agree. It doesn't.
Nobody's courting. So I just think it depends what game. Are you playing the dating game or are you playing the courting game? If you're playing the courting game, then you probably get married.
You should.
If you're playing the dating game, I don't know what's going to happen.
And you're absolutely.
Some people who play the dating game get married. Most 99% of them don't, right?
Yeah.
You gotta go, like, if you count how many dates you go on, so you go on 100 dates, how many of them did you marry? So you got, like, now you 0 for 100. So
Yeah.
how many dates does it take to get a marriage? The number could be infinite, but if you court one time, chances are you're gonna get married.
I agree.
If you court twice and you didn't get married, then something's up with you.
So I just gotta just know, and I'll do some research. We'll talk about this later, because we're already an hour plus in. You know, because I just need to know the details of the courting. I know what courting means, but the details, because
Courting is a more intentional. Courting is two people saying, I want to get married. Not like later, not maybe if I like you, not if everything is perfect, but I want to get married. Let's get together and see if that works. They might. I don't think these people should hang out by themselves. I don't think they should be necessarily sexually active. I think their time is more spent hanging out in friend groups, like at friend parties, hanging out at parents' house, stuff like that.
Okay, I agree with that one. But the friends, I might. But it to me, it is a snippet of dating in there. And I'm not saying that sex is very important, but these urges are gonna come up, and then you want.
You don't get along with each other.
Well, but see, then you don't want to be in this situation either. That
My problem with that situation isn't that they had it. My problem is that we're hearing about it. Like
That's true.
If I was with my wife, I don't think we have that problem. I don't know. We'll talk about that.
we edit that part out. Don't answer that. No, I'm playing. We didn't hear nothing.
Never been communicated, and she been faking it too. But anyway,
Shit. I almost.
what I'm saying is, like, all right, let's say hypothetically, she came out tomorrow and was like, this whole time I've been faking. It wouldn't be like the worst thing I ever heard. We could talk about it. Then it would almost, I think it would be more of like an adventure. Like, well, let's figure out how to crack this code then. And
No, I agree. No, I agree.
so that part about it doesn't. That's not what gets to me about it. The part is that they're sitting there talking about it in front of everybody else.
No, I agree.
That's the only issue I got with it, actually. Like, you brought up her not being attractive or whatever, and I think like our difference in mindset is why that's more important to you, because I don't think it's super important when people get married that they have to necessarily be sexually connected. Well, because if you think about it, like, traditionally, women are supposed to be virgins when they get married.
I agree.
So they're not necessarily going to be sexually attracted or connected or know about their body in the first place once they start doing these things.
Mm-hmm.
And you probably will have situations like this more in the courting world. And in the dating world, women have bodies. They didn't experiment it. They know what
they want sexually. They know how to get there.
They know where their spots are.
No, I agree with everything you're saying. No, I agree. I just think only reason why I'm leaning on it sexually attraction with her because it's becoming a chain reaction, and now it's because I think you're not sexually attracted to him. And then over time, now it's going into, do you even like this guy? Now it's even showing or adding a rebuttal. Do you like this guy? Because now you're kind of embarrassing him on a network.
I think she embarrassed. I don't think she thinks she's embarrassing him.
She has to know that. She can't be. She can't be moronic like that. She can't be.
If she knows, I feel like. I think she thinks he has it coming because he embarrassed her.
And what did he do?
He cheated on her with, was it Erica Mena? It was one of these. Hold on. Do we have to look this up?
No, if he cheated on, so I get it. So maybe it's a tick for tack.
Yeah. First of all, I'm gonna stick with. I don't think she understands that it's embarrassing her.
But see, if we're gonna play that game, I don't want to play.
If she does know, I think it's the tick for tack type of thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you do a tick for tack, then do you actually like this person doing tick for tack? Because you're intentionally trying to make this person feel uneasy.
Yeah, it was Erica Mena. She brought his head too. But
And when was this? This was when?
Let me see if I can find.
2020.
I think it was before this.
Yeah, yeah.
2018 opens up about cheating. Hold on, let me share the screens.
Excuse me. But all in all, I'm like, I don't know. I'm still gonna be stuck on that. I don't think she was attracted to him.
That's
Like I don't.
about it. That's an angle worth exploring, right?
Yeah.
I can't. This isn't gonna work.
Because it's just a different. I don't know. It's. I'm like I wish that I was like famous, but then again, I'm like I think.
You want to be famous?
I thank God that I'm not, because I don't want to be put in that kind of crap. You know what I mean? Like I'm a mildly a private guy. You know what I mean? So it's like this right here, you're gonna have me act a fool, and then I'm gonna be banned on all kind of networks because we ain't on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna say all kind of crazy stuff.
Let me see what's a reliable source. All these are like gossip.
Nah, it's okay. It's no worries. Not to.
We getting into extra stuff.
Okay, last question. We can't talk about the main topic for today. I do apologize. We'll go back to that next week.
I think we went over time with the stuff.
Okay, so that's really quick. Just so free speech in Twitter. How do you feel about that?
I am very much enjoying everybody freaking out about Elon Musk buying Twitter. This wasn't our main topic though, but we will touch on it.
This was one of the topics I want to talk about really quick, because you've been educating me on him.
I think it was very interesting that he bought Twitter with the intention of opening up the platform so that people could talk about maybe things that one side doesn't agree on, and it works for both sides, right? And I think it's interesting that one side was like, "This is horrible. This is a bad thing," and so it brings to light a thing that I'm like, well, why don't you want these things talked about? And it kind of relates to how we have to tiptoe around this stuff when we're talking about like Dwayne Wade's son or whoever. And how we have to be correct on the way we approach it. And so I think it's a good thing that the conversation is open and it's not so politically correct.
That's how it should be, period.
I think people, like, if we're having courtyard talk, say what you want.
Because people do it anyway.
Yeah, so like you say that, I know who you are, like I get your... I don't have to agree with you for you to like. It seems like some people disagree with people and they want them shut up. They want them quieted.
Yeah.
Some people want people quieted because that's the only way that their ideals are going to work. Some people want people quieted because they feel like it not insinuates, instigates violence or such and such, but I don't believe
the part that kills me is that all of these everything's censored, right? But people, when the cameras are off, are gonna do and talk about whatever they're gonna talk about.
Yeah, you're gonna say it anyway.
Regardless, I feel like, I'm not even going to use this in a gender fashion. I'm just going to say, okay, say what you say, how you feel, say what's on your mind. Yeah. Period.
If a person's racist, maybe they can't be racist on Twitter. When they get home, they're going to say the racist shit.
And I think that's crap. I feel like if you're going to be racist, if you're openly racist, guess what? Cool. So when I see you, I will avoid you. Yep. I will stay away from you. Great. Like there's ways around to navigate around the silliness. You know what I'm saying? And like I am 100% in on free speech, because that's how it should be anyway. People are gonna say what they're gonna want to say if the camera is on or not. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, I think a lot of it is driven by the LGBT.
Okay, and that's fine. That's fine and all, but
they have ideas that are specifically driven around you can't say this about this, or you can have the opinion, but they don't want you to, and they definitely don't want it to be said out loud. And some of it, I think, is on the black community.
But this
we have like we have words of negligence too.
But this is the thing, like
it's any community that's like, you can't say this, you can't say this, you can't, and that's heavy on those things being cracked down on.
I just feel like that people that create this, that you can't say this and can't say that, are generally the people that say the most things about people. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll use blacks for instance. We don't like nobody to use the N-word, but we'll use it so freely with each other. We say it, yeah, we say it more than anybody else.
All right, so that's what I mean. Like, the black community will have, and I don't mean necessarily believe in the black community, but let me just say it this way: like, we'll have hip hop, and so there's people who be like, hip hop is a black art, right? And then you complain if hip hop doesn't get as much exposure as another genre of music, and then when hip hop does get the same exposure as other, I feel like hip hop is the number one form of pop music in America right now. And so, all right, so it got that exposure. Then you say the words. It's almost like you want the song to be the most popular song, but you don't want anybody else to be able to sing it but you.
Yeah.
That's kind of like, whoa. All right, so like, I don't even know, like, what's the rules to white people like singing Drake? Do they have to skip the word? Like, they gotta learn how to censor the song?
Nope, they say it.
They gotta learn how to say
No,
the song.
all right. The Wayne's brother movies showed you that they gonna say it. They just know when to say it.
I feel like that's the same thing as how we skipping and stuttering over. What
Absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. So
it's hard to do stuff like that in real time.
and see, everybody is entitled to an opinion, and then if you start breaking down certain laws, freedom of speech for one, you know what I mean? Then you got a bunch of, like. So if the law is that there's freedom of speech, and then we also have certain things that you're entitled to the opinion, and then we have other things that say people are opinionative, you know what I mean? So then what do all of these things mean? They mean words that are expressed to something. So it's like, if you're trying to shut people out, anyone, I'm not just talking about just anybody in particular. You're trying to shut people out by not using the English language to express certain things. How dare you? You don't get that right. The English language is designed to communicate with each other. So if this is the way they have to communicate, like, some people will use the word stupid and some people will use the word intolerance. So it's like,
context too.
Well, absolutely.
Like, so, like, that's in all fields. Like, even if we're talking about gender identity, me misgendering a person, sometimes people do it intentionally to inflict hurt. Sometimes I just don't know. Like, sometimes it's like I don't know, and I don't feel like figuring it out right now. So I'm gonna just say what it is. I'm gonna say what the actual thing is.
Yeah.
Like, if I say Dwayne Wade's son, it's not to inflict hurt. It's because I don't know what their gender
agenda is. Yeah.
First of all, and I don't feel like trying to skip over it every time I think about it. I think the N-word is similar. White people saying the N-word in Drake's song. White people calling another black person the N-word to inflict, to piss them off. That's the thing that I have an issue with. So it's all context.
Yeah.
So people don't have a practice in context anymore. So that's why you can have things happen. Everything's called racist. Everything's bigotry, everything's transphobic, everything's homophobic. And sometimes people are saying things because they just didn't have the context into the subject in the first place.
Yeah. And that's why when it comes to the social media thing, I don't dig in too deep, because it's like I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I treat it out of sight, out of mind. So it's like, if I hear certain things, I don't even know what that is. And I be feeling good that I don't know. Like, I don't know what that is. Like, that's what? Like, nah, I ain't never heard of it. Because I won't dig into it. But I just say, people gonna say what they're gonna say. I rather just say it in my face And that's it, and that's all. You know, a lot of people bash and taboo Donald Trump for the things that he has said, and I'm like, you know what? If that's how he felt, I respect Donald for saying these things. If that's how he felt, hey, that's how he felt. Whatever. Like, because behind closed doors, we bash all day long.
Yeah.
So it's like, at least if I ever met Trump, if I reached out, hey, how's it going, sir? If he shook my hand, cool. If he doesn't, okay, that's cool too. You know what I mean? I could be like, well, no, he don't really rock with, well, at least I've heard, or at least that's what I thought. So no problem. Move on. Move forward. I'm not going to lose any sleep. You know, so the things are just put under the microscope.
Censoring people is for phony people, right? Like if I don't rock with somebody, I'm not really about to walk up to them. Hey,
Yeah, no.
how you doing?
Because
Anyway,
even like Facebook has made things like so unrealistic, where like you don't get along with somebody, you can block them. Like
a Black Mirror episode like that. You watch Black Mirror on Netflix? It's an episode where everybody has, I think, like an implant or either like something where they're all integrated in this technology. And so social media is like things you can see out in the world now, right? It's like augmented reality. So if you block somebody, they literally show up like as the TV fuzz, like shh. You know, like, you really can't see this person. They just show up as like a silhouette. That's funny.
I have a funny story, really
People
quick.
treat Facebook like that's what really happened.
Yeah,
If you
like
block me on Facebook, you can't see me no more.
Like I had this girl Melissa that blocked me. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about her badly, but I had this girl Melissa blocked me one time on Facebook.
Melissa, we can still see you.
And here's how silly the situation was. She blocked me, right? And it took me a while. We kind of got into it a little bit over a post. I had an opinion on it. She wrote a post. I made an opinion. She said something. Oh, that's stupid. I said, well, that's fine. You can think what you want, but this is how I feel about it. Excuse me. Then it went into, oh, well, why are you even commenting on my page anyway? Well, it's something on there.
I hate people. I hate people who post things and then be like, why you commenting on my post?
Exactly.
What the hell are you talking about?
And so then I go like, well, you posted it. I saw it. I made a comment. Isn't that what you want? Next thing you know, she blocks me instantly. She blocks me. So
People want to create an echo chamber
And then-
where everybody, they post something and everybody's like, it's a like all the time. It's like, yeah, we all agree with you. And they just create echo chambers.
here's the funniest part of the whole scenario. So I look like, you know, I said, you know, this mother, she blocked me for real. What's that, fool? So you blocked me, bro? Well, you're talking nonsense. I said, are you kidding me? So you're gonna block me? I said, do you hear how stupid you sound? I could directly contact you on your phone. You can only block people that you don't know in real life. I said, but Melissa, I could come to your house. Block me from that.
That's stupid.
You know, like that's dumb, like unrealistic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm done. We've been talking for an hour and a half.
We'll get to the main subject. I think we'll try to get to it next week.
We'll get to it next week. He brought some great presents for me, and he knew I was going to ramble on this a little bit. So thank you for these gifts.
I didn't know.
Oh, you already knew when the man is
The main topic of the
when a man's in jeopardy. You know what I mean? It's my obligation to save him. But I will say this in hindsight, because Bridget the Gap has been really chipping at me.
I'm trying to get her on here.
And-
I'm hit her on Facebook. Because she's been hiding since January.
I'm going to say this. Eventually in the future, us men are going to wear the jacket.
Whatever. I don't know what you're talking about. But we're gonna head out for tonight.
So leave you guys stuck on those thoughts.
All right. What is that, like a cliffhanger?
I'm like, you know what? Because anything I say, I notice that when I talk to anyone, especially her, you know, and it's like if certain things come up and she be like, yeah, I keep telling y'all gonna wear that jacket, and she just freezes me, and I'll be like, like, dang, that was kind of stupid. What that guy did, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I guess we gotta wear this jacket soon.
Yeah, Virginia got her up this week. She got to come on here. Maybe we'll try to do the show earlier because she's in a different time zone.
Yeah, I'll try to rendezvous with her
She
because
got more important priorities than stay up chatting with us about Mike Tyson knocking out people on the plane. So we'll try to get him next week. All right, I'm Jamal Williams.
and I'm Christopher Barris.
And we are
America's mine.
I didn't have none of this break right now.
Who's that?